Well, good afternoon. Today is Friday, April 3rd. It's 3 o'clock. As everybody knows me, I like to start very prompt. So, welcome. It's good to be able to chat with everybody today. Hope you're able to get on. I'll do a little small talk here as we get started, give people time to log in and get to our event. But talk to you about my busy last month and a half so you understand what I've been working on, what we've been working on as county commissioners on behalf of all the residents of Weld County, and go over all of that. Also, reach out to you, see what questions you may have. These are definitely trying and troubling times for all of us, as we're all working through uncharted waters and really experiencing something none of us have ever come across before. An invisible, as the president likes to say, an invisible force that's battling us right now. So, love to get everybody's feedback on that as we get on. But I'm excited to have this opportunity to talk with you today. As everyone knows, it is full-on campaign season right now. But with the self-distancing and home quarantining and no social contact, it makes it nearly impossible to get out and chat with people. So. We'll talk a little bit about that, what we can do from a campaign perspective, and the help you may be able to give us. So this is exciting. We're trying this today. We're going to make this a regular thing, and I'm looking forward to being able to be in contact with you guys, because as many of you know, I can't meet face-to-face with you, and which actually is tough for me. I'm a guy that likes to go out there and shake a lot of hands and talk with everybody and reach out to them. So right now, this is the closest option we have to that. So again, I welcome you. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. If you have questions, feel free to fire those away. Sherry, my campaign manager, is with me, and Kelly's here too. And we will, they'll fire off those questions to me so I can get them answered for you. But really what I want to let you do is, I'm going to give you an update on what I've been doing since I was appointed by the county council on February 17th to fill the vacancy, and let you know what we've been working on. So let me tell you guys, it's been like drinking through a fire hose for the last month and a half, nearly 2 months. Came on and there's a lot to learn anyhow. I don't think anyone can truly be prepared for everything the county is involved in. I thought I had a great idea of it. And coming from the leader of my municipality, being the mayor, I had a lot of great skills that have transferred over, but it's amazing how broad the county scope is. We've dealt with everything from the United States Air Force to land use issues to oil and gas to air quality control to transportation issues. It's been chaotic, to say the least, and then you throw in COVID-19 along with an economic crisis and many other things, and I'll tell you guys, this is some serious times. And I was on a phone conference call the other day with Senator Cory Gardner, and he texted me and he says, "Man, what a time to come into this role." And I said, "You know what? It's challenging, right, to say the least. However, thank God I'm here." Two things. First of all, if all I know is chaos, that becomes my normal, right? So I'm like, this is my normal daily operation, I guess, is what it is to be a county commissioner. But secondly, it's taking all five of us to contribute and thoughtfully think out these challenges that we're faced with and come up with results. And so I'm glad I'm on. I thank God for it every day, and hopefully we're doing the right thing for Weld County, and I truly believe that we are as a group of county commissioners. So I want to talk to you about a few of the things I'm on. So the first month really was spent meeting with department heads, going across every department, getting to meet everybody, learning about their organizations so I could see their hierarchy, and then going on and diving deep into what their role is, how they interact with the county, what they do to help the county residents out on a daily basis, and how we can make that even better. But getting to know them, asking a lot of questions. They're asking questions from me, and we've gone about that. And we kind of call that the little training period. Normally when a county commissioner comes on, you get about 2 months to do that prior to getting sworn into office. We didn't have that luxury, which was fine. We hit the ground running, and I think it's worked out great. And honestly, I do believe like I've been contributing from day one. So recently, last night, we announced to the North Front Range MPO, the commissioners have appointed me to be the representative for Weld County, for the Weld County Commissioners. I'm going to replace Barbara Kirkmeyer on the MPO. Board thought that my expertise and my longevity there, working on the transportation issues and the air quality issues, was great. It was exactly what we needed as a county. So we were able to announce last night at our telemeeting that we hosted for the MPO that I will be taking over those roles and duties as a Weld County Commissioner. So I'm excited about that. I'm also still meeting as we go through departments with our oil and gas department, with our planning department, with our public works department, also meeting with our health and human services department. I really feel I need to understand those departments to the best of my ability. It takes a lot of knowledge, a lot of inner workings to understand how they play, how they operate, how they commingle together. You just talk human services. I like to kind of refer to it as the 800-pound gorilla in the room. I mean, they offer some very, very unique things to some very special people. And it's a broad scope of what they do. And it's so important in how they reach out to these needy people in our community. We have to understand as county commissioners where their funding comes from, how we get that out, how we can better bring those dollars into the county, and how we can be most efficient in our staffing resources to get those things out. So I'm excited to be learning about that. Commissioner James and myself are diving deep into that to try and take over that role from Commissioner Kirkmeyer. She's term limited off the board, and she's really championed that department for many years. And so you go back, though, to all our other departments being oil and gas and the challenges we're facing on that, and I'll speak about those in a few moments. But planning and public works, they touch nearly every facet of county business. And so diving deep into those and doing that along with working hand in hand with our finance director, Don Warden, and going through some budgetary challenges that we're facing, and really I've been on the pounding, I guess, the table for this, and everybody agrees that we're facing some economic times most of us, I know myself included, have never seen it. We need to make sure that the county stays positioned correctly, and making sure we're looking at the budget not just for this year, not just for 2021, but 2022, 2023, and making sure that the county still stays debt-free, no short-term debt, no long-term debt, no sales tax, so that we do the best things for the residents of Weld County. So I'm excited that we've dug into that. Don Warden has started putting together a budget for us so that we can look at that. Now's when we start looking at those things and making sure that we're doing the proper planning for Weld County, and making sure we're not hiring people on right now that we may just have to furlough here a year from now when these economic times trickle down to us and how we receive our money. A couple things we've worked on, and I want to make you aware. Weld County Commissioners, upon the governor's one of his directives on March 20th, I believe it was, or 21st, talked about how the counties, along with the treasurer, could reach out and suspend penalties for paying your property taxes late and extend out those deadlines. And so we as county commissioners, we embraced that, and we reached out with private businesses. We reached out with all the taxing entities across the county, being school districts, businesses, your special districts, your fire departments, your rec departments, your all your taxing entities, to get buy-in from them and get their feedback as we looked at this. Because what our concern is we're trying to help businesses stay afloat, keep liquid cash in their hands so that they can weather these tough times. And by having them be able to hold off nearly penalty-free, what we were going to be doing was charging 1/12 of 1% of interest on that money for the 6 months through October 31st. We were going to allow them to do that to help them out in these times so that they could stay afloat and not have to shut their doors forever. Well, the governor came back and said, we misinterpreted his rule and that he meant for it to say this, and so he took that off the table, and really we aren't able to extend it out now till the 31st, which is disappointing. We thought we know we had the buy-in from our entities, and we thought we had a solution out in place, and to not be able to help out everybody that we could, that's disappointing. But I know we're not done. We're still going to continue finding solutions, and we're working on those currently, and I look forward to being able to share some of those with you guys in the near future. Other issues I wanted to bring up that we're working on. The budget I've talked about. Oil and gas we just briefly touched on, but oil and gas has been hit with really the trifecta right now. They've gotten hit with Senate Bill 181 and the unnecessary regulations that are coming against them there, right, knocking them down. They've gotten hit with the Saudis and the Russians having a war and driving down the price of barrel per oil down to $20. And then they also get hit with COVID-19. And this is like the three legs of the stool getting kicked out from underneath of it. And it's tragic to see, especially for our county, but I want to let those in the industry know that my heart's with them. I stand with you guys. I know these are tough times. Many of them are losing their jobs right now. I know several companies have had to furlough their employees. They're laying them off. And these are tough times. And I just want to let you know the county commissioners and myself, we stand with you. You have my thoughts. You have my prayers, more importantly. But if we can do anything to help you, please don't hesitate to reach out. But we are working through that and still working through the rulemaking process so that we can come up with rules to counter what the governor may be proposing, but that would be workable for everybody as we work through SB 181. And the good news is that rulemaking process has been postponed. I already talked about the MPO. What I did want to talk about, though, is some of the traffic projects that we're working on as a county. One of the things I talked about on the campaign trail is I've seen a need for a stoplight at the Weld County Parkway and Highway 392. It's exciting. We're doing it. It's already coming. The county's agreed to fund this. The state's on board with it. That we're getting the final sign-offs. We passed all the warrants, which are, if you don't know what a warrant is, that's the things you basically got to check off a list to make sure that it's viable to have a stoplight at this intersection. And the county is fast-forwarding the funding on this, and so we're excited about that to get that improvement done. We also approved this week in our board meeting the roundabout project starting and getting construction underway. We got our bids in for the intersections of County Road 17 and 54. And if you don't know what 54 is, if you're on the interstate, the 402 intersection that goes into Loveland, if you take that east, that's, well, County Road 54. So we're excited about that project getting underway. We've been working with CDOT on Highway 52 and getting many of those improvements started and underway because the capital's already dedicated to those projects. We need to get them done. During our meeting last night and with meetings that I had earlier in the week with Commissioner Kirkmeyer, Commissioner Moreno, and Shoshana Liu, and Commissioner Donnelly from Larimer County. Shoshana Liu is the director for CDOT. We talked about segment 6 on I-25. We also talked about Spaghetti Junction. We talked about many things. But on segment 6, we're getting the funding close to where it needs to be. It's nearly $300 million we need to do to finish segment 6 on I-25. We're about $20 million short, so we're trying to figure out what we can do in that bidding process to maybe help that out and get that where we need it to be. Spaghetti Junction. If you're not familiar with what Spaghetti Junction is, that's where 85 and Highway 34, intersect, right? For a long time, it's just a cobweb of roads, and that's why it's called Spaghetti Junction. CDOT came to us with their engineering plans and their drawings for that. I'm excited about it. They let us know what Phase 1, Phase 2, all the way through Phase 6 would cost. Total of about $190 million to get that intersection redone, get the bridges all redone, get it realigned. I'm excited about it. I know the MPO and the Upper Front Range are going to work together in this project to figure out funding mechanisms. I know Weld County is going to be critical in this, and really the design that came out, I'm excited about because they really listened to us. And this is what happens when we reach out to all of our partners. We reach out to our municipalities of Evans and Garden City and Greeley to help make that intersection be what they need it to be, to make sure we're driving businesses, driving people to those businesses, and we're improving the flow of transportation. So I'm excited about that project. I think it's important we talk about the big issue in the room right now, which is COVID-19. And frankly, like I said, no one's ever been hit with something like this. Weld County, we're seeing our numbers continue to rise. I want to praise Dr. Wallace, our health chair, our health officer, for him and his team and their work that they've done on this. I also want to praise the rest of the Weld County team as we've had to set up our COG and our EOC to make sure that we're dealing with this. We're sitting in meetings all day, every day, making sure we're handling the information that's coming in from across the county, across the state, across the country, across the world, to make sure that we're doing the right thing for Weld County. And I can't be prouder of the team that we have there. They truly are amazing individuals. Right now, this is the stats that I have as of last night at 4 p.m. We have 376 reported positive cases of COVID-19 in the county, and that includes, unfortunately, 16 deaths with that. I think the steps we're taking are helping with the self-distancing. I think we're not out of the woods on this, right? As Dr. Wallace likes to refer to it, think of it a roller coaster ride. You get on a roller coaster, and right now we're ratcheting up that first hill. And right now we're still ratcheting up that hill. We have not got to the peak yet. It's going to be a while till we get to that peak where we start, as everyone says, flattening the curve or blunting the curve to slow down those cases. But I'm proud of the residents of Weld County. I think people are using their common sense. They understand what it means to self-distance, and when they get ill or they feel ill, they self-quarantine or self-isolate so they're not exposing people to it. They're doing this while they're wrestling with many things. They're wrestling with trying to keep their businesses afloat. They're wrestling with trying to keep their loved ones safe. They're wrestling with how do they put food on the table? How do they pay their rent? And it's, again, these are challenging times. As commissioners, we're working day and night, really, to get this resolved the best that we can, and we're working with you guys. And really, it's everybody making sacrifices right now. It's not fun. Trust me, I know. As a small business owner, I'm seeing it impact my own business, and we've had to shut our doors, and I'm seeing my clients getting laid off, and them having the serious questions they're having to make, right? Where are they going to come up with the money to pay for this or pay for that? And I feel everybody's pain there. Always welcome to suggestions, and many of you have already been reaching out to me with those suggestions. We continue to test, but the test kits aren't truly available to us in large quantities yet. If you listen to the governor today, he's asking for them. We're asking for them. They're not coming in. We got a few, but those are going to high-risk individuals. They're going to those in the medical profession that may be feeling symptoms, those first responders that may be feeling symptoms. We did a drive-through that we set up at the ranch earlier this week in conjunction with Larimer County, and we're getting those individuals tested just to make sure, because they're having contact with so many people. We got to make sure that they're in the best position and they're not positive and maybe exposing people at a greater quantity. Here's a question. I'll reach out to everybody. I don't know if you watched the governor about an hour ago. As he got on there, he seems to have these press conferences. He mentioned now he wants everybody to wear face masks if you go outside. What's your thoughts on that? What kind of face masks are you going to try and wear? Are you planning on wearing a face mask? Those are the things we're wrestling with right now ourselves, right? And so I'd like your feedback on that. See what you have to say. I've talked about oil and gas and my concern for them. Obviously, they're wrestling with a lot. So are our farmers right now. Many of them, they work jointly with the oil and gas industry. And so they're looking at their budgets right now, going, what am I going to do without that ancillary oil and gas check that I may have received? But I want to applaud those in the agricultural industry, our dairy farmers, our crop farmers. our beef producers, you guys are getting up every day. You're still going out and you're feeding the world. And I'm grateful for you, because what you're doing is truly monumental, and you never miss a beat. You've never missed a beat. You continue on, and I'm grateful for that, and I give you a big thank you, because without you, the rest of us, we're not here. People are finally realizing the supermarket doesn't make their food. It's you guys, and feeling how important you guys are, and I hope that translates through for you guys. So that's some of the things I wanted to talk about. Obviously, we're campaigning. We've got some questions coming in. I'll get to those in just a moment, but we're campaigning. Would love it if you feel compelled to do so, to make a donation to the campaign. Our website is kevinrossforweld.com, and we'd love for you to jump on. Check out our website. It's great. Again, it's kevinrossforweld.com. We've got our videos on there, from videos I've produced to my interviews that I did in front of the county council, to interviews and questioning down in Fort Lupton during a candidate stream. So I'd love you to get on there, share it with your friends, and spread the word. But if you feel compelled to do so, hey, $5, $10, whatever you can spare goes a great way in our campaign, and I would love it. And if you'd love to do so, if you'd like to volunteer, we have a tab there too, and you can let us know, and we'll be able to utilize you here in the upcoming days as we roll this out. So with that, that's a few of the things I wanted to touch on. We got a few questions that have come in, and so we'll go to the first question we have. What's that?
A question from Daniel, who, Daniel, by the way, is working at getting drivers routed to fill the shelves. Mm-hmm. So shout out to Daniel.
Absolutely.
Wants to know if you've looked at the bridge north of JBS plant. Needs to be replaced, and he's got pictures.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the bypass bridge. I'm assuming, Daniel. I don't know. I'd have to reach out to CDOT on that. I haven't looked at it yet. That's right outside our office, so yeah, we do see it frequently. But I do want to say thank you to those in the transportation industry, because you guys are working overtime right now, filling the shelves at the grocery stores, at the big box stores, in order for people to bring all those goods home. And you guys aren't missing a beat. In fact, many of you are putting in overtime hours, and I want to say thank you to you guys as well, because this country depends on you to help us all out. Everyone's sitting at home ordering from Amazon or whatever they may be ordering from, and still takes delivery drivers to get those out there. And I thank you all. But we are working on a project just north of that bridge that you're speaking about, in conjunction again with CDOT. We're going to be bringing that out to public. We want public feedback on it, where we redo the O Street intersection. Part of that's the project we're working on with Union Pacific Railroad, and them asking us to close multiple intersections along the Highway 85 corridor. And we think we have a design for that, but with everything I'm stressing, as well as my other 4 county commissioners are stressing, we need the county input on it. And so we're going to be bringing that out. And we're going to do a few things new with that, because obviously we'd expected to have a town hall meeting on that by now. It's impossible. We can't get together. And so we're going to be rolling out some of those on live stream, is our hope for now. And then we'll still get back to you with a true town hall meeting where we're meeting live and get your feedback there. But we're going to be trying a few things new as county commissioners. Also, starting next Wednesday, what I'm excited about, what we're going to work into and incorporate in our board meetings where we can't have public in our rooms, is we're going to do a live stream from the dais. And we live stream our board meetings anyhow. But I would encourage people to log in, and this is going to be a chance to essentially ask the commissioners. And we're going to start this off because it's important that we're still able to connect with the residents of Weld County and get their feedback and answer their questions. So I'm kind of excited to talk about that. Excited to start that up next week too. So next question.
It looks like Lyle didn't quite hear the early part of your... when you first started, Lyle's question is, how do you feel your tenure as mayor has helped you?
That's a great question. So Really, as mayor of town of Eaton, it really prepared me for this role. As mayor, you deal in the executive role, so you're dealing with the day-to-day workings of the town of Eaton, is what in my case. We dealt with land use issues as those are brought forward to us on a monthly basis, and we're really dealing with all the public works issues that the county is dealing with on as well. You're the voice of your community when you're the mayor of that community, and as Eaton's mayor, I took a lot of pride in that. People look up to you. They look for you to stand up and say things when they need to be said. And all of those skills translated to being a county commissioner. And I think they've translated extremely nice. Now, like I said earlier on, it was drinking like a fire hose when I first came on. As far as those first few days, you're just getting bombarded because you're meeting all sorts of new people and you're trying to remember names. You're trying to do everything. Right now, I think I've got a pretty fair grasp on it. Doesn't mean I'm not still learning. I think you learn every day. But what I'm here to say is those fellow county commissioners are doing nothing but treating me as an equal. And I contribute on a daily basis. We all are contributing. Everybody is bringing great points to the table on all these tough issues that we're facing right now. And that includes me. And my voice is equally heard. And I'm excited about that. What I also will say is, when you're a mayor, you know how important your staff are. We have some of the brightest, most intelligent staff at Weld County and people working for us. I couldn't be prouder. They're all experts in what they do. They all have that attitude of we are Weld strong and we're going to do more with less. And coming from owning a small business, you understand how important that is, right? We don't want the pork. We don't want the fat. We need to be lean. We need to be streamlined, and we need to get things through. And from a government perspective, Weld County's blown me away as I dig into it, just how much they follow that philosophy. And it's exciting and refreshing to see from a government standpoint. I can assure you this, is now I'm learning about the other counties across this great state. They don't all operate like that. They don't operate on having no debt. Many of them are talking about right now furloughs of their employees to get through these tough times. That's not what Weld County's talking about. We're not talking about laying people off. Other counties are doing that to try and save money or considering it. And that's not a discussion here. We're planning out for the future to make sure we don't impact other people, but that's coming up. We're looking at sunsetting positions and stuff like that, just so that we make sure we're running as lean as we can. And, we're set up great budgetarily, and that's why I'm working hand in hand with Don Warden, our Director of Finance, to make sure that continues and give my input there as well. So I think all those skills from Mayor transfer over naturally.
So you may have touched on it earlier, but can you talk specifically about project in South Weld or in the Tri-Cities area?
Absolutely. So Tri-Cities area, what we're working on right now, we just got the IGA signed with CDOT and the communities around the Tri-City area for the new road. It essentially takes out the, what do I want to call it, along the interstate, and I'm sorry, I'm having a moment of my brain, the side road.
52.
No, it's not 52. It's the side road off of the interstate. I'm sorry, you guys know what I'm talking about. But we're doing away with that. We're creating a new road, right? So because those service roads, or access roads along the interstate are really dangerous. We've all seen it. There's an accident. Everyone comes to a screeching halt. And you see all these cars dart across the shoulder to get up on that service road or access road. That's dangerous. And so we're doing away with that. That's what we're working on right now in the Tri-City area. We're also looking at our facilities down there and how can we bring more services to the residents of South Weld, Southwest Weld, and make sure that they're not having to drive all the way up to Eaton. And this is one of those things I've campaigned on. I'm continuing to campaign on, but we're already starting into it, right? County commissioners have recognized it. We're working on it, how we can get more services down there, how we can bring trial services down there, how we can bring jail services down there. And Carly Coppice, our clerk and recorder, is already bringing stuff down there. So when you need to get plates, right, we have a facility down there where you can get plates and renew your tags. And we understand how vital South Weld is to us. And it's only going to become greater as that population continues to grow. We're also working on Highway 52 right now, several projects along there, including widening of shoulders and intersection improvements. And we're currently working with CDOT on that. I'm not able to tell you about a couple of the projects yet because we haven't signed off on them, but wanted to let you know, rest assured, we understand how vital that road is for commerce and for transportation and getting across there. But we're also working with our communities. It's like, hey, what do you need? How can we partner with you? And providing them those services. And it's exciting to work with the mayor of Fort Lupton, the mayor of Platteville, and work with all those communities so that we make sure we're getting all parts of Weld County better access to those services that they need. Okay, so looks like, guys, we're wrapping up here. This is our first one. I appreciate you going through the growing pains with us as we do this. We're going to make this a regular event, so I hope you'll turn in and see us on a weekly basis. Again, I would urge you, check out our website, kevinrossforweld.com, and if we can earn your support there, do it. Feel free to share this video out. Let your friends know, because I want to let you know what I'm doing on your behalf as your county commissioner to keep Weld strong, keep Weld great. So I look forward to speaking with you again. Everybody have a great night. Be safe. Hug your families, and I'll keep you in my prayers. Thanks.